Okay, we're on.
Hi, Sayer.
Hi, Kelly Stark.
How did I luck into this moment?
Right.
I am thrilled for all you beautiful people doing such great work.
You got to bear witness to
I
this
did,
moment.
I did.
Yes.
My heart is beating out of my chest.
Well, you've joined us on this journey to this place because you are one of our liberators and one of the humans doing the work.
Thank you.
So
A complete honor.
Yeah, and so that's why you're here. We want to center what you're doing and talk about you and tell everybody who you are.
Okay, so my name is Kelly Stork, and I am a private practice therapist, a social worker. I have a practice in Webster Groves, and for the past 10 years or so, I've been working with gender diverse folks. And then about 6 or 7 years ago, I made a very deliberate choice that this is what I wanted to do, that this was the most intentional work that I would do. And so from that point forward, it's just blossomed and grown, and it's now probably 75% of what I do in my practice. And I now go around and do trainings and presentations, and
Yes.
I just wrote a book.
What?
Which feels crazy to say from my brain, but from my heart, I am completely thrilled.
So tell us, what's this book?
Okay, so since it's not out yet, it's due out, I think, in April. I brought at least an image of the cover. So it's called The Gender Identity Workbook for Kids,
Nice.
A Guide to Exploring Who You Are.
Right.
So the target audience are the little humans.
The little humans.
The little humans.
Yes.
Who are exploring their gender. So I started, and actually when I was starting clinically, I was seeing a lot of young adults and adults.
Yeah.
And most of them were telling me stories, right, about when I was 4 or when I was 6, or I've known, I've never not known. And I was like, right, like there's trans adults, there are trans kiddos. And so I've been able to work with folks all across the lifespan, kids as young as 4 and their families, and folks all the way in their 60s and 70s. So,
Wow.
yeah. So I wrote this book hoping that a little kiddo could sit on their bed or at a little desk somewhere and better understand themselves and claim their gender and go and live in the world with alignment and safety.
Awesome. Yeah. And trailblazing, because there are not these things.
This is the first, this is the first.
Yes.
So can I show you one of the?
Yes.
Okay, so I also want to tell you that I absolutely cherish and adore and believe in the community-led piece.
Yes.
So I will tell you that this it still feels really funny to say from my head that I wrote this book, but this was a complete labor of love. It was very, very personal for me. And so I also went on a search for a trans illustrator. And
right on.
I tell you, I am the luckiest. So his name is Noah Greeny, and he is a young gender fluid trans man who is in art school.
Awesome. And
he made some of the most amazing illustrations. So I want to show you. I don't know that you'll be able to see the detail, but maybe for Facebook, that's okay.
Right.
Here, again, I tried to illustrate so, you can't be what you can't see.
Sure.
So I tried to show all sorts of different gender expressions and little bodies.
You can't be what you can't see.
Right? I think I might have gotten that from you.
No, it's lovely. It's lovely.
So Noah Greeny, find him. I think he has a website. Makes some beautiful art. He also made representation of genders across all kinds of cultures. Beautiful.
Yes.
And then trans history, right? So all these wonderful, wonderful pioneers doing amazing work.
How exciting.
And I got to do this. It's so fun.
Wow.
With all you beautiful people. I mean, this room is amazing.
It is amazing. It's been 24 hours of amazing, right? And I get to sit and share space with trailblazers like yourself, people who intentionally chose to use your gifts to center and love on and empower and support and help trans folks.
Well, thank you. I was watching Jason's interview, and I'm going to borrow the whole take space, make space.
Yes.
Right? Is that what I'm using my privilege to make space, and I hope that people, I tell you, this work has given me at least as much as I've ever given anyone. These are some of the most amazing, beautiful people, and you are one of them. I want you to know I really am inspired every time I see you.
Right on.
And all of these folks.
I know, all these beautiful humans. We appreciate your role in our liberation, right?
Well, and I want you to know, as a clinician, this is the only reason that I have places to send my scared clients. They come and I go, have you hooked up with someone yet? Are you ready for group?
Yeah.
Do you want to go to an event? And if they're not, I call one of you and be like, I need someone to hook this person up to. And I have some wonderful veteran folks that like reach out, give them rides, talk via email.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So I paid for it.
Yeah.
Paid today, and I donated, and I'm a recurring donor. So
Right
consider
on.
that
Recurring
monthly
donor.
It's so easy.
Yes.
You don't feel it. You never see it.
Right.
But it's going to help some really, really amazing things.
It really is, and I appreciate you so much.
And a big shout out to your Queer Trans Flat, yo.
Yeah, right.
Also,
holding space for folks.
Another wonderful place to donate.
Absolutely, yes, for sure. Well, I want to do it like I'm doing with these trailblazing humans that we're sharing space with, and this is for you. It is your support is vital for our liberation, and we consider you a partner in our fight for liberation. And we appreciate the role that you take, and this is just a gesture of that esteem.
This is I cannot wait. It will be very proudly displayed.
Right on.
Thank
you. Thank you for your role. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right.
And here we are back at our main stage. Yes, I want to introduce a very, very dear friend of mine. She's my sister from another sister. Come on, welcome to the stage at the time, Miss Van Barnes. Hey.
Hey, y'all.
It's my Queer Billy sister.
I'm Queer Billy. I come up in town this morning because I want to see what y'all's up to. I got up early and baked some honey buns for you. I had to get a knife and cut them up and spread them all around, you know, share like the way Jesus broke the bread, honey, on Sunday morning. Did you bake honey buns? Ooh, yours got more cinnamon than mine. Mine's all vanilla.
I came with you this morning. We got to keep this PG because it's
It
the
is.
Lord. It's the Lord's
It
Day.
is. Let us rejoice in it. He has gifted us with $10,000. We have reached our goal, but there is more to be had. There is more money out there on the floor, honey, and we need you to run us that coin.
Yes. So I'm gonna let you introduce someone very near and dear to your heart.
Oh, her, please. Girl, I was dragging her like tin cans after I got married, girl. Yes, my trans daughter, I love her so much. I met her at one of them gay pride float campouts. I wasn't smart enough to kick her into the fire. Then she went up and snatched my best friend, man, and oh Lord, it's just, sheesh. Howdy. I still wish I would have kicked her in the fire some days. But what I'm going to tell you is I've grown to love her. One thing she taught me over the years, because she said she was trans back when she was presenting all butch, you know. And I said, you ain't no trans girl. You need to go get up on some mounds. Now, you know, I came up in the 90s. I was an old school girl, you know. Did my years in Chicago, holla at Chicago. Did my years in New York, holla at New York. Had a few years in LA, but I've always come home to the homeland. And I met this girl. My mind way of thinking was different. I said, you ain't no trans if you ain't on no moans, girl. She says, I'm trans. And she taught me that she was trans, that you don't have to be on moans to be trans. She taught me about the non-binary. And she schooled this old queen, let me tell you. So I'm happy to say that my love for her has grown stronger and stronger every day. There's one thing I want to talk about NTUG and St. Louis that's different to other cities. Other cities has funding. In New York, with the LGBT center there, and in LA, you know, I've went to services in Los Angeles when I've worked on shows there, and received services, and they have much better funding in larger cities. And like in New York at the Colin Lord Community Center, those are all places where you know that that's a temple to our community, and you can go there and find help. But St. Louis, we got this little cabin down here on the backside of the neighborhood, girl. And we need to build on, and we need to add a double wide to our cabin is what I'm trying to say. Okay? And we need to be able to up our game, because there's just as many of them right here, and there's no reason, like I say in all those interviews with all them nosy folks, I say all the time, there's no reason we have to leave our communities to thrive. And we need to be able to thrive here in St. Louis, alive, free of discrimination. We need to be able to get our work on, honey, make our coins, not be relying on no sugar daddies, no mans. We ain't doing it old school no more, I'm telling you. We are here to be a part of the community, and we are here to keep each other alive. We are teaching each other about chosen family. And this is a major lifeline for St. Louis, and that's why we need your help. Girl, you know you can afford $5. Don't play it with me. I see what you drink at the bar, okay? You can go 1 or 2 less and look a lot prettier, trust me. Okay, girl? You want the house to fall in on you? Keep it up. You better get out and run us some coins, girl, because you know we good folk over here. And that's what I'm here to telling you. We're good folk, don't got the funding like the big cities, but you need to tithe, honey. I was raised Southern Baptist, and I know about tithing. And I know y'all know the word tithing. If you don't, Google it. And tithing means giving back to your community. And you need to tithe, honey, especially you cis folks who ain't been challenged in these ways us trans folks had to be challenged, okay? You need to tithe and make this a stronger community for all of us, because we are only as strong as our weakest element, okay? So let's not leave anyone left behind. Now this morning, I'm gonna introduce someone. Like I said, I should have pushed her in that campfire years ago. I'm not good at making s'mores, but her name is Joss Barton, Tino Shea girl. Her name is Joss Barton. She's very talented. She's attended a lot of artist retreats in other cities. She's reached out to other communities. She's educated. Something very special about her is she's adopted into this country. She was raised right down south of where I live, out in the Ozarks here in Bunker, Missouri. And so she was raised right. She can't help herself some days, but she was raised right. And I want to invite her to the stage because she's very, very gifted. Would you give her a grand old gay Opry welcome to Miss Joss Barton?
Thank you, Mama.
See, I told you, we could have made us s'mores if I would have thought about it.
You know, I'm feeling like we're giving a little country, a little rock and roll tonight.
I told you to get your Pat Benatar on when you texted me.
Yes.
Looking for some inspiration.
Oh, thank you. That was such a sweet introduction. Some days I hate you.
You see, you know it's a real relationship because some days we do hate each other. And other days we love each other like no other.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much. That was
Girl.
such a fabulous introduction and just a fabulous message to the community. I'm so just ecstatic that we reached $10,000 this
But do you
morning.
think that that's like everything?
No, that's not everything. We're going to get more.
Girl, please.
Make
Y'all
it
better reach up in that pocketbook. That's where my mama keeps her coins.
Yes,
Y'all better run us some of that coin, honey. Y'all look over there on the floor. It says ways to donate. You can go to stlmetrotrans.com, click on donate now, or you can call the telephone number and speak to one of our nicely voiced pledge folks. Or just stay here on Facebook, honey, and click donate. It's just that easy. $5, $50, $500.
$1,000.
$1,000 would be great, but 5 helps. It goes a long ways too. Girl, are you gonna bless us this morning?
I think it's time for church, isn't it?
All right.
You talk about tithing. I think it's time we go to church for a little bit.
Okay. Well, why don't you bring us your blessing?
Okay, we're gonna do a couple pieces for the folks out there. Thank you so much to Sayer, Kristen. Thank you so much, Lady Ash. Thank you, Miss Diana, Pepsi. Thank you, everyone in this room that was a part of this event. This is just phenomenal. This is amazing. So I'm gonna read a couple of my little stories and poems, and yeah, and then whoever comes up next, I'm sure we'll continue this wonderful end of a telethon. So, all right. The first one I'm gonna read is called Red Planet. Ain't no land but Canaan land now. Ain't no grave but Cold Creek clay. Ain't no flag worth killing for, and ain't no flesh in heaven to taste. Ain't no chain can bind my soul. Ain't no road to carry me home. Ain't no dreams on a red planet, except what the moon don't own. And that piece I kind of wrote the inspiration for that poem was kind of me giving my firstborn nephew a message that maybe his parents may or may not give him, but something I wanted to impart to him about how to look on the world and how to look on other people and what really is important. And what's important is community and family, not nationalism, not wealth, not the ways in which we other each other. It's about the love we have for each other. So that's the inspiration for that piece. The next one is sort of interactive. It's titled Riddle, and after I read it, maybe someone can guess what I'm talking about. But this one is called Riddle. I am unspoken on the tongue, but a spear to fools. I mark the soul with scars and sins, yet no god or idol can bind me. My body burns death's nest with the light of mutation. No plague or plantation or platoon will ever colonize my lips. I summon skulls vomiting white water, making the diamonds and rubies glisten along their adorned crowns. What am I? Does anyone have a guess?
Are you Black Barbie?
No, you know.
Sorry, girl.
No. So that is, so that was kind of a riddle I wrote to talk about the concept of love. So, and there's a lot of love in the room today, this morning. And speaking of love, this one is the first ever love poem I ever wrote. And it's titled Love Poem Number 1. Soothe her troubled expression. For her you listen. Is there any real risk to falling in love? If death is a dream, then she hopes she always wakes up next to you. Light purifies eternal solitudes. Cosmos bleed into your mouth, where her lips trace each melting memory of each cell. A void in the soul, where she let the world rip her apart, where the smoke billowed and she offered her flesh to idols. Sometimes she fantasized that a man could miss her like the saddest love songs. Yellow blossoms sprout across the western mountains. Damp meadows soak her body with holy nectars, like sweet pollen tapered on your neck. Follow the imagination to the eye of a blue plague, haunted by your voice whispering to the moon, infecting her skin with the joy of your virus, where you held her tears in your bed, where you caress her breast, where old wars die, where she loves you. And that I wrote for my boyfriend, Nathan, who better donate some coin. If my man's listening right now, baby, we need some more money.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so this is what's happening. We're going to do another interview.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Yes. I can't wait to hear who's coming up next.
It's a wonderful Christine Elbert.
Oh, I love Christine Elbert, legend,
Yes.
St. Louis icon.
And then you and your crazy mama.
Yes, my mama's coming back here
Yeah.
to read me for filth some more.
Oh, that's all right. I love y'all. I love y'all both so much.
Oh,
Y'all
we love you.
Y'all have done so much, and y'all are so
Ooh.
talented. She a little cray-cray, but that's okay. That's because she live out in the cornfield. She don't know no better. I've been there a house. I love her.
There's all those pesticides get to the brain, honey.
Yes, yes. All right now we're going to turn it over to Sayre and a great interview with Christine Elbert.
All right, we're ready. Right on. Hello, I'm back with Christine Elbert.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Afternoon,
Yeah.
Daytime. It's daytime.
It's just around. It's just around at this point. It's great.
I'm so glad you're here. As a friend, as a fighter in this movement, as a fellow queer, I am pleased that you're here.
I'm here and I'm queer. I love it.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell us what you do professionally, and then I would love for you to tell us some of your role in this movement that we have here locally with queer folks.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's broad.
Yeah.
The first part's easy.
Yeah.
For money, I'm a mortgage banker.
Okay,
I do
all right.
home loans. When people ask me, like, what do I do for a living? My elevator speech is basically make dreams come true,
Yeah.
create families, and create communities.
Yes.
So it's kind of a spillover from what I believe life should be about.
Yes.
So that kind of goes into the second question.
Yeah.
What is my piece in this community?
Yeah.
And I think what's really cool about it is my piece is the same piece as anybody else who's part of this community.
Sure.
It's to show up. It's to do what we can do. I had a great conversation with some people last night about how we all serve our community in the ways we're best suited to.
Yeah.
Some people are, like you, are out there and they're trailblazers and they're leaders and they teach us, here's where we need to go and here's how we can go there. And I love that so much. And then there's so many of us too that we just know to show up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just showing up and being there and be that person who plants their feet and says, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I need to be seen. And that allows other people to plant their feet and say, hey, I'm here and I need to be seen. And so that piece is a joy. It's a gift to me, actually.
Yeah, you show up. You've always showed up. And I've seen you show up, I reckon, for a decade now. We've probably intersected in each other's lives. But I also see you in another role, and that is role that is kin to what we do with trans folks, and you're a parent to these humans in this community.
Yeah, I got a new nickname, Ma.
Ma,
I
you've
keep
got
thinking
a
I
lot-
should be on a truck, like on a rocking chair, driving somewhere with a strange family into Beverly Hills.
There you
but
go.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I was taught that, actually, as a very young lesbian. I had a woman who was my ma.
Yeah.
And to this day, she still introduces me as her first kid.
Yeah.
There's about a 5-year difference in age, so it's a little weird, but it worked really well between 15 and 21.
Yeah.
Because the life experience was so different. And I was raised in the community by older community members.
Yeah.
My family of origin is fantastic. They're beautiful and they're loving and they sent me out in the world. But to learn how to be a part of this family,
Yeah.
to learn how to be a part of this community, I needed the elders in my community to say, kid, come here.
Yeah.
In fact, the first one who did it, and I will never forget her, was a drag queen named Miss Tracy.
All right.
She
There you
just
go,
got
Miss Tracy.
Miss Tracy,
Yeah.
where I know you're out there looking at us right now.
Yeah.
But it's opening that door.
Yeah.
It's saying, hey, you're part of. Come be. And it's a gift.
It's opening your heart and loving on folks and being family when, I think that the intersection that many of us queers have is oftentimes we lose our families for various reasons, or we are strained from our families, and maybe we don't have that depth that we really crave from our families. And I see that you do provide that, not only with your kids, but with your friends and the people that you love and the community. When you have your annual Columbus
was a terrorist
Yeah.
day dinner.
And
Yeah.
provide that space. It's the wayward souls and the not so wayward souls, but choosing to engage in that. And you've done that forever. And that's why I wanted to hold you up. Of course, I want to hold up the way that you use your power and your privilege to stand in and stand up for trans folks, but just that familial model is so vital and so important.
Well, and I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the trans part of my family, the gender
Yes.
queer, the
Yes.
spectrum is that if coming up as an old school lesbian,
Yeah.
right, just a basic old school butch lesbian,
Yep.
I don't think anybody could understand more what it feels like to not be seen as who you are as the gay community.
Yes.
So it's kind of like I met my first trans person maybe 25 years ago. So it's relatively new
Yeah.
to me, right, in the world. Now it's a huge part of my family. But as the gays and lesbians came out and created that space for themselves,
Yep.
then it's our responsibility, just like you do for any member of your family, to make sure they have the same space.
Yes.
That the young woman before me, that statement of don't make people other, right?
Yeah.
Don't look at the other in people.
Sure.
Just hit me.
Yeah.
Because we are one big family.
Yep.
And that's when we forget that. That's when the pain happens. That's when the divisionism happens. When we remember it, that's when things like this happen, which is mind-blowing. I had the opportunity to stop in a little bit over the last 24 and just see these people just come and show up and stay.
Yes.
And it's love. It's all based out of love, and it's all based out of love for our family.
That's right. And again, you showed up and you stayed. You showed up again today, and you model that love. You model that familial love. And I want to hold that space and appreciate your role in our movement and appreciate your advocacy.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
And we have our Trailblazing Liberator Awards loveliness that we are presenting to a few humans in our
Oh,
community.
that's amazing.
And this is, your support is vital for our liberation. And we consider you a partner with the Metro Trans Umbrella Group and an advocate for transgender liberation. And I consider you a friend. And I appreciate you, Christine Albert.
Absolute here. Same.
Right on.
I love family, and I'm glad you're part of mine.
Right on. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here with us today.
Thank you for letting me.
Right on. A little bit of a delay. That's all right.
All right, so I am sitting back here and I'm literally like cracking up, laughing at the top of my lungs because this next person that we're gonna bring back up here just had us rolling. I'm sorry if she dragged you, Joss. I'm sorry if she did. But I just wanna bring back to the stage Van Barnes. And in case you were wondering about that riddle that Joss had, this is the Black Barbie in the room.
All right.
All right. All right. Just had to let you know.
You might got a Band-Aid because the girl cut me real hard, y'all. Look at that. 10 G's, baby. But that ain't gonna keep the lights on forever, honey. No, no, no. You need to keep running us some monies, right? Is this thing on? Is this thing recording? Homage to T.S. Madison, and shout out to all our kids in Atlanta. Hello, it's hello out there in Facebook land, Twitter land, Instagram land, LGBTQIA land, and all the friends across the land. Welcome to the MTUG Telethon. We popped 10 G's already, honey, but we need more. We need some coins, honey. This ain't free, okay? Now, I'm gonna bring my daughter back. And she's gonna, Joss Barton, y'all invite her back now. She's gonna share with you a little bit more lengthy piece, but this piece is about a sister we lost. And this is why your money is so important, because sometimes we don't find the hope that we're looking for in our birth family, in the people we live with in the homes, or the people we work with, or anyone around us. Sometimes we feel very alone. Metro Trans Umbrella Group, you're never alone. Underneath the umbrella, you're safe from the rain. And this is a place where you can come to and you can be supported. And if you're thinking the worst and you're thinking you can't go on, baby, Metro Trans Umbrella Group will show you that there's a way. This place gives hope to people in our community. And that's why we need you to help fund our hope.
Yes.
You see, years ago, there was no hope for you and I because I was not
honey.
going to be your friend. I hated your ass. If I met you.
It was every girl for
Then
herself,
you went and
honey,
stole
back in
my
the day.
best friend, ho. And I was like, oh, no. But I've forgiven you for that.
Oh, well, thank you.
And I've grown to love you. And you've grown into somebody I'm very, very proud of. Don't be dropping them F-bombs now. You know you
No,
can talk.
no. We're going to do QG. This is a family-friendly event.
QG, Queer G?
Yeah, QG, yeah.
Queer G.
Yeah,
This
queer,
is a queer family event. Everyone welcome, especially our allies, okay?
Yes,
We ain't got nothing
yes.
against you cis-normatives. Ain't got nothing against you heteros. We ain't gonna bash you if you come up in here. We just want you to know.
We just want your money.
Yeah, well,
No, we
it's
want
called
your...
tithing.
Yeah, it's tithing, yes.
Yeah.
yes,
You got a
yes.
donation?
Yes.
It could be as little as $5. Could be as big as 10 million.
Yep.
We'll take whatever you want to give us. We the fools that will step up to the plate, honey. If you put the money down, we will step up to the plate, and we gonna hit a long home run, honey. That's right. Her boots was made for walking. She gonna walk right on out of here if you don't give her no coin, honey. So, Josh, why don't you share with us this beautiful piece?
Yeah, all right.
And we just want
I'm excited.
everyone out there to know that if you need help, come to us and let us help hold you up.
Thank you, Mama. All right. Let's give another round of applause for everyone that was a part of today, last night, early in the morning, all the performers, the activists. Let's give them another round of applause, folks. Come on. Loud, honey. Okay, so this is my last little piece. It's gonna be a little lengthy, so settle in, get comfy, get your tissue boxes ready, okay? It might make you cry, but it's okay. Okay, this piece is dedicated to the people that we love and that we lose. A shouting in heaven. I don't believe in heaven. I believe that heaven and hell are found right here on this beautiful and terrifying planet. And I believe that we all have the chance to find and fight for our own freedom. If we can break down the walls the world uses to entrap our consciousness into paradigms of oppression and isolation. Writing is how I break down the walls built around me as a child, growing up in a rural, deeply conservative Christian community. Writing has also been how I've coped with 6 months of intense grief and death. It has been the key to the most somber of houses that has kept me believing that hope may still exist in an incredibly violent world. The morning began at dawn in January 2016 when I discovered Bryn Kelly had committed suicide. I met Bryn at an LGBTQ writers workshop in the summer of 2013. And from that moment, we began a friendship grounded in our identities as artists, writers, and as transgender women. Her death was soul-shattering because we were again losing a transgender woman to suicide and to the constant psychological and physical violence trans women endure. In America, where 14 trans women, almost all trans women of color, have already been murdered in the 6 months of 2016. Her passing also cut deep because she was a brilliant writer who wrote brutally honest pieces that spoke truth on the pain of living as a poor, HIV-positive trans woman. And I still found gorgeous love and biting dark humor in all of it. The morning we learned she was gone, I touched base with friends. I sobbed. I read a poem on grief, and I wrote. I cried as I wrote Eulogy, my dedication to Bryn. And although it was intended to honor her memory, much of it was a way for me to process the grief of losing her. I wasn't alone. Dedication after dedication flowed across my newsfeed in the first weeks and months after her death, from her community and queer family across the country, all of us grappling in the dark house of grief, looking for the light in each other's words. I contributed again with a much more focused literary analysis of Bryn's work, with The World is a Virus, as a declaration that Bryn's writing is some of the most essential work on contemporary trans and queer literature. I wrote because the legacies of our queer and trans creatives and artists must be preserved for future generations. I found myself back inside grief at the end of May as my grandmother entered hospice and slowly began dying from cancer. My grandma always painted. She was the first artist I ever knew, the first I ever loved. And as I watched my mother and my aunt stand vigil over her bed, wetting their mother's lips with tiny pink sponges and feeding her morphine with syringes, her body slowly starving itself, I thought of how a woman is a tree, and how a tree is a ladder that reaches to the things the world tells us we can't have. My heart was breaking once again as death made itself at home, and as I held her hand through the night, her unconscious breathing growing deeper and heavier, I watched as a spider crawled across the wall like an omen spinning above her head. I sobbed and screamed and wailed, but none of that would end up healing her body or bringing her peace. My aunt set up her tablet in Grandma's room to play a bluegrass gospel radio station as I stroked my grandmother's arm. A gospel spiritual I recognized from childhood began to play. It's shouting time in heaven. A sinner once lost is found. It's shouting time in heaven. I grabbed a notepad and a green ink pen and took a moment to walk outside. I sat by my grandmother's pond and wrote brief memory sketches of her slicing strawberries and cantaloupes, us listening to the sound of locusts during a summer evenings at her house, her red hummingbird feeders. She died 4 days later. I began to tie those green sketches into a memorial poem, A Tree is a Ladder, I read while standing in front of my family at her funeral. I still can't stop hearing the last words she spoke to me. I have such good babies. A week after the funeral, I gathered with 200 of my queer and transgender family for a weekend of camping and floating on the Niagara River outside Lebanon, Missouri. We drank and dance and revel with drugs in the woods in a campsite devoted to queer pride and identity. The days and nights blurred together until Sunday morning as we board dusty yellow buses packed with coolers and water guns for a day on the water. I sit hungover and tired when I hear the words, gay bar, biggest mass shooting ever, 50 dead. We all look at each other in stunned, numb silence. I try to hold on to the power of the queer love around me for the rest of the day, but the despair begins to grow louder with every minute that passes. I return to St. Louis to a flood of memes, visual photos, think pieces, and cable news tickers, all detailing the horror of the Pulse slaughter. I look into the queer, Latinx, and Black faces, and I know that once again, our Black and brown bodies are being slaughtered. The grief is even more overwhelming as it settles into an even deeper well of sadness and despair within me. It begins to feel pointless, trying to survive against a world that constantly wants us erased. I wonder if hoarding 2 months' worth of Ambien would be enough to kill myself. I cry in the middle of the night and tell my grandma how much I miss her. By midweek, the depression locks me in my bed and it now occupies every corner of my body and mind. I try to write, but nothing but white space comes through my hands. By the end of the first week post-Pulse, I have nothing inside me but a deep, deep, seething rage. I go to a local punk show, and my body begins to wake with each crashing, pulsating, screaming noise. It sounds like anger and chaos, and I recognize it within my bones. I attend a grief processing event for LGBTQIA folks to talk about Orlando. The despair, the tears, and the rage begin to make sense as the strangers in the room one by one mirror my own pain. We are exhausted by the constant erasure of queer and trans people of color by gay white ink. We are pissed off that our cisgender and heterosexual allies deflect and distance themselves from our daily suffering. We don't care about gun control in a nation where our collective deaths have been called for again and again by Christian theocrats. A beautiful queer Latinx friend in the room calls BS on the white homosexuals holding candles at vigils but keep no fats, no femmes, no Latinos, no Asians, no Blacks in their Grindr profiles. I speak Bryn's name and tell the room that no one seems to care about us when we slowly die every day from poverty, addiction, and suicide, or when my trans sisters are brutalized and mutilated in the streets. Some of us cry for the loss of yet another sanctuary for queer people of color in a whitewashed, gentrified world. Others rail against the violence of assimilation. I read a poem. We snap our fingers, clap our hands, and laugh. It all begins to sound like a shouting in heaven, glorious and defiant, righteous and subversive, holy and healing. Thank you. Is it on? Is it still on? Is it still on? I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this all by myself. Come on up here and help me.
You could have said the wrong thing. Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Toot on off.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for your beautiful writing. I've always told you from the first day we worked at Vital Voice together how talented and wonderful I thought you are, and look at you, just all grown up. That baby, that's your mother right there, but you know, I got a special place for you right here. Yes, because you know, it's all the time you acted up.
I have many mothers.
Yes, yes. All right, so here we are. Do we have it? We got an updated total? 10,601, yes.
Pretty amazing.
Pretty amazing.
Okay. So we've got a little bit over an hour to go.
Yes.
We have one more interview. We have Karis is coming to sing the house.
Yes.
What else do we have going on? We're gonna talk about the mural.
Yes, we'll
and
talk about the mural.
do the grand
And then
unveiling
we
of
can't
it.
forget that Lady Ashley promised that if we hit her goal, she's gonna chug a Red Bull.
I did indeed, and I will do that for you.
Yes.
Because I love you, and we reached our goal. We went over our goal.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
I'm gonna have wings for the rest of the day, y'all.
Yes.
I already feel like I'm flying anyway.
Right.
Yes.
Flying on this love.
Yes.
On
So
this community.
I got you Red Bull.
I know you do. You're waiting for this.
I can't wait.
So let's do the plug again, y'all.
Oh yeah, just
Here we
because
go.
we reached our goal don't mean
Right.
it's over.
Right.
Don't mean it's over, because the more the merrier. You can, on our website at stlmetrotrans.com, click on the Donate Now button, or you can call 314-287-5383. You can text, you can call, or you can go on the Facebook.com/Metro Trans Umbrella Group and click on the Donate Now button. We gave you 3 ways to donate. The 4th way, we call this the end of the CD, the secret one. Come, bring your cash, bring your check. Give it to Sarah right here at the Pride Center. However you want to give, we are going to take. Because not only did we hit 10,000, we're close to 11,000. How great would it be if we ended the day with $12,000? Yes!
I would be ready for that.
Yes!
I would be ready for that.
Yes, because we can do 12 at 12.
Yeah, 12 at 12.
12 at 12. 12 at
Good.
12.
Let's make that a goal.
Yes. So, you know, we hit 12,000 as Ashley's chug a lug. Yes.
Oh, I know you're waiting for that.
I am.
Oh my gosh.
I am. I'm just mad I don't have no Southern Comfort to put in there and give you a real taste of wings.
Ooh, don't think I could do it.
No.
Don't think I could do
But
it.
we had such a great time.
It's been good. Let's
Yes.
hold up our sponsors again,
Yes,
right?
let's hold up
It's
the
been a
sponsors.
minute since we've done that.
I think we can do these by memory now.
I think so.
Yes, Coffee Cartel for the wonderful breakfast this morning.
Yes, yep, okay, all right.
Yes.
We've got Left Bank Books.
Yeah, thank you,
For
Left
the-
Bank Books. Yes.
$1,000 matching donation.
Yes.
The best bookstore in the world.
Yes.
In the world.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Taco Circus for feeding
Oh.
our bellies. Yes. Taco Circus.
Thank you.
The best taco I've ever put in my mouth, let me tell you. And we also, let's not forget, SLU Communications Department for some of this wonderful equipment that we got.
St. Louis University, thank you. I mean, this is some fancy stuff, y'all.
This is fancy,
We
fancy.
keep getting a lot of folks saying the quality. First of all, it's the humans right here that are enhancing the quality. Yes, and these cameras and this equipment, it's fanciness.
And I love to say this, Dick Blick. Yes. Her wonderful paint colors who's made the fantastic artistry here happen. It's amazing.
Yep.
And we have Planned Parenthood of the St. Louis region and Southwest Missouri. I was getting there.
Yes, it's good.
Southwest
You did
Missouri.
it. You
I
did
did it.
All
Yes.
right, all right.
Yes.
We do.
No?
Yeah.
Fleeting?
The Justice Fleet.
The Justice Fleet.
Yes.
Yes.
Providing some supplies and some loving and this beautiful mural that we're going to talk about at the top of the next hour.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we covered everybody.
Did we?
We could do it.
Yeah. And this. Oh, right. Well, where we're standing right here.
Oh, Pride
Oh,
St.
hello.
Louis. Oh. No, I'm getting kicked off
The
the board
eye
next
roll
time.
back in the back row.
Oh, Pride St. Louis for giving us this wonderful space.
It's like,
Yes.
come on, right.
Yes.
This big old space that we have taken over and we filled with all this love and all these volunteers.
And all these people. You should see
Amazing.
all these wonderful, amazing humans that are here filling up this space with smiles on their faces, because
Yeah.
we know we accomplished what we thought 4 weeks ago was the impossible.
Yeah, most definitely.
And but we made it happen.
Yeah.
Because we made it because of every single individual in this room. Because we were together as a family, We took it from your idea.
That's right.
And we made it to our fruition, and we are so, first of all, thankful for you, for the vision that we had many years ago at the OLGBT Center
right.
when you started Locker Room, and
Yes.
you came to me, and I said, whatever you
Do
need,
it.
do it,
Yep.
do it. And then we started the Trans Visibility Project.
Yep.
And look, here we are today.
Here we are,
Here we are,
raising
raising
10 grand in less than 24 hours.
in less than 24 hours. Yes. MTUG has set the bar for other nonprofits and fundraising.
Really what we're doing is we're centering trans, non-binary,
Intersex.
intersex adults, centering our work, centering our leadership, giving us opportunities to thrive and survive and be successful and love on each other. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And that's what this was too, right? Like, we got all these leaders in this room making this happen and using their skill sets, and it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing. Trans folks get stuff done, y'all, right?
What we say, resilience is beautiful.
Yes.
Yes, it is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't run out of stuff to say. I'm just so happy that
Maybe we can go over some of the things that we're gonna do with this $10,000
Yes.
again.
Mhm.
Building capacity.
That's the number one thing, building
It
capacity.
is, because our organization has an annual budget of $38,000 a year. I would challenge anyone in this room to find another direct service organization that serves 100 to 130 people a month on $38,000 a year in the way that we do. And the testimonies that the humans we serve say repeatedly, MTUG saved my life.
Yes, you heard it today earlier. MTUG
Yes.
saved my life.
Yes.
Yes, so we've got to remember
Yes.
that this money that you put, there are people in the room that held their hands up that said, MTUG saved my life. I have a testimony that when I first came out as intersex, I went to people at MTUG, and MTUG helped me see and helped me embrace me with open arms. And, you know, I didn't want people to know because that being intersex had never been talked about in the Midwest. And I thought, oh my God, if I come out as intersex, what are people going to say? Are the community going to still love me? Are they going to embrace me? Because, you know, sometimes we can be some nasty. So, you know, we're like that. So, you know, it's just, I wasn't, and then I spoke to people, some of my friends, and they said, you know, God and the universe gave you this for a reason. And there are people in this room that I talked to, and they said, you've got to tell your story because you can't be the only intersex person in the world. But, you know, when you find out news like that, you think you are the only intersex person in the world. I didn't know anyone. I'd never met an intersex person before.
Right.
So I told my story, and before I knew it, there were more intersex people in St. Louis that came out, and we helped those people. And now we have an intersex support group that meets every other week, and we sit around and we talk. And the other day, when last month, when we got ready to have Intersex Awareness Day, I said, what do y'all do? Y'all want to do an event? They said to me, we are tired of hiding in the dark. We want our voices to be heard. So right here in this very building, we had the very first Intersex Awareness Day celebration here in the Midwest. So that's what MTUG does. They help you become and live your true, authentic self. So give MTUG one more round of applause.
I want to give some love to
Yes.
Well, I'm still tongue-tied based on everything that's happened, but I thank you for giving love to QT Pop, for giving queer and trans people of color of space to come and to talk about the things that are most important to them, to talk about the things that hurt, but also the things that build us up. And I also wanted to thank you as MTUG as creating space, as an organization that was created for trans, by trans, as we see on the website, for holding space for allies and realizing that we are here to help you. We don't want to speak over you, we want to speak with you, and just giving us the space to be a part of that family, giving me a space to be a part of that family, being the first cisgender person on your board. When you came to me with that, my heart just burst, overwhelmingly happy. And I just wanted to say thank you for also holding space for your allies, because there are people out there who want to help you, who want to support you, who believe in you, and who cherish you, and will stand right up there on the front lines with you to help get ish done.
Yes.
Speaking of it, one more time, we're going to tell you how you can donate. you can come and go to stlmetrotrans.com, click on the Donate Now button.
You can call 314-287-5383 or text, and we will take your pledge.
Or you can also get on the Facebook.com, Metro Trans Umbrella Group, click Donate Now. Just because we reach our goal doesn't mean we can stop. We're going to keep going. We want to do 12 at 12.
And we got plenty of paint, y'all. We really do.
Right, they're going to keep going all the way around till there's no more room. So please, don't stop giving. Please give deep in your pockets, $5, $10. What did Van say? $10 million.
$10 million.
Wouldn't
I
that be
might chug
something?
2 Red Bulls for $10 million.
Yeah.
Get you ready.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, all right.
Could you handle me?
I can handle you.
Okay, all
Yes,
right.
we can handle that. So please, we have some wonderful humans coming up that we're going to sit here and talk to. We had some wonderful allies coming up.
Yeah,
We had some wonderful interviews.
Yes.
So, you know.
So let me just start off the 11th hour, or 11 o'clock. It's almost 11 o'clock. I'll start it off like I started off the telethon with my little elevator speech. When I was 16 years old, I came out as a lesbian to my mother. I'm like, Mom, I'm a lesbian. She's like, oh my God. My mother's from Texas, not New York, but I imagine her saying, oh my God. Well, you need to find your people. And so she put me in the car and she took me to my first Pride in Forest Park. And I met my people and they were very old, but at least I knew I could be at least I knew I could be an old lesbian, right? Right. Fast forward, I'm 35 years old. Mom, I'm transgender. She's like, oh my God. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to figure out a way to find your people. And so that's what birthed all this, right? Like, I had this love. I had this family that was standing by me, giving me all this love and this safety nest. And I'm like, I know a lot of trans folks don't have that safety nest. And I want community, and I want folks to feel this love. And so the locker room, and then the locker room begat the Metro Trans Umbrella Group, and then here we are. So that's the elevator speech. It all comes from finding your people. You need to find your people. I'm going to go over to the interview area and gather myself.
Okay, you go gather yourself.
Give me a minute.
Give me a
Thank you.
minute.
Please.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Thank you. Tracy, if you want to come on over and gather
Yes.
myself.
How you feeling?
I am elated.
Yeah.
I'm tired but elated.
That's a good word.
But you know, when you were there when we kind of birthed all the, and Sarah came to us and we thought, you know, deep down we thought, you crazy.
Yeah, I remember the look on his face when he says, I have an idea. That's how it started.
I said, and-
with I have an idea.
He came to me, Diana, I got this idea and I need your help. We're gonna do this, this, and this, and this, and I need you to do this, 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 and this. Was no, can you or will you? It was just, I need you to, okay, we got 4 weeks. I said, now, of course I said, okay.
Yeah.
We can do a telethon. Yes, he said, okay, it's in 4 weeks. He said December 9th to 10th. I went, to put on a telethon. He's like, I know it's a lot, I'm asking a lot, I'm pushing humans, but we gotta get this done.
And we pushed the humans and we got it done. We have everyone here. We want to thank you for being here for 24 hours. Our studio audience, our volunteers, our tech crew who's been working tirelessly. We appreciate you.
Yes.
The artists that we've had here, our sponsors, everybody who stopped in, who brought food to take care of us, to feed our bellies when we were hungry, and also everybody who slept with the folks here who were tired when they were tired. So we appreciate you for sticking here with us through almost 24 hours. We're in our
Yes.
23rd hour now.
We're on our 23rd hour, we
Yeah.
got 59 minutes left.
We do.
59 minutes, and we can do it. We want to get to 12 at 12. I know we can do it. Go and share our Facebook, share the YouTube. Get people on. I know we can get 12 by 12.
Yeah, and it
Yes.
doesn't have to stop here. We're always looking for monthly donors. Our services that we provide to the St. Louis area to trans adults are constantly moving, constantly on the move. So even after this is over, feel free to go to our website. Feel free to go to our Facebook page and continue to donate. We're looking for monthly donors. We need those bus tokens for people to get to our support groups. We
Yes.
need fundraising that is going to help us continue to reach our goals, to get that dream office that we have and that we need. So it does not stop here. The caring does not stop here. The love and support does not stop here. The giving does not stop here.
And the need does not stop
The
here.
need does not
That's
stop
the most
here.
important. The need does not stop here. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This will help us get those bus passes like we said we need, so we need to support and to work and to interviews and to doctors' offices. So they can get their hormones, to get their testosterone, to get their checkup, to get their blood work done, to see if their transition is, to see what their levels are. So,
Yeah, they're basic human needs that need to be met, and we are helping do that right now.
and once you get your basic human needs, that builds confidence. And that's what we do here. We build confidence. And from confidence comes leaders.
It comes leadership. It helps people learn to lead others, which is key.
Which is key. Let me peek over and see if Sarah's got it together. You got it together? All right, bro. All right. Right now, we're going to kick it over to Sarah, who has a fabulous interview over there.
Are we going this way? I think so. All right, so we're on. Tracy McCreary, yes. Tell us who you are.
Well, I'm now State Representative
State
Tracy
representative. I
McCreary.
should say that
Yes,
first, yes.
No, don't worry about
very
it.
official and fancy.
Don't worry about it. I've always been a behind-the-scenes person, so being a state
Yes.
rep's a bit different. So,
Yeah.
as you know, I spent some time at Promo working as their
Yes.
public policy director on reducing LGBTQ health disparities. So it's really exciting for me to be a state rep. I live in Olivet, and my
Okay.
district is, I pretty much go from Olivet all the way west out to Chesterfield around Olive and Woods Mill. Generally, my northern boundary is Olive Boulevard, southern boundary is Highway 40 or Conway Road. So
Okay,
right down the
all
middle of St. Louis County.
Yes, and so what do you do? What does a state rep do?
Well, it's a part-time job, but I do it full-time because there's issues like this and so many other issues that don't stop when we hit session adjournment in mid-May. So I'm in Jefferson City from January to mid-May, but then when I'm home, I do all kinds of community service, including working with you on things.
Right, yes. We see each other in all the circles and all the places where there are people doing such valuable work for our communities and the intersections of our communities.
Exactly.
That word.
I remember when I first heard that word intersectionality, I think maybe back in 2011, I had a young campaign worker and I was like, I had to like Google it. I didn't even know what she really meant. But now I'm starting to see where a lot of people have multiple areas where they can be discriminated against and where they have challenges. And so those are some of the things that as a state rep, I'm trying to always peel back and try to help make things more equitable.
Sure, and with your intersectionality, you're using the intersections of the privilege that you have and the avenues that you have to engage all that.
Right,
And that's
exactly.
what advocacy's all about.
Yeah.
Yes, and so let's do the womp womp womp.
Okay.
Because what do we have coming? What's coming this year? I hear the gloom and doom.
Well, legislative session kicks off at noon on January 3rd,
Oof.
2018, so
Okay.
it's coming quickly.
Yes.
And one of the things I'm excited about is I'm going to be sponsoring a bill that would prohibit licensed professionals from practicing conversion therapy on minors. So I'm very, very excited about that. So, yeah, so we're still working out the details because we want to make sure that what we're doing, is proper and that we have the strongest language possible. But I'm so excited to be able to lead the charge on that. I think this is something other states have done it, and it's time for Missouri to step up and protect its vulnerable young people.
Absolutely, and do you think that you're going to have humans that are going to be engaged with that and work towards that happening?
I definitely do. I know, like, as an ally, I'm all pumped up about it. One of the things I was reflecting on before I came here this morning is like why I care about this, and I can't like quite put it into words. But the opposite of this is like, why wouldn't I care? And I truly feel like we all have to stick together. This whole phrase of like, united we stand, divided we fall.
Yes.
We all need each other, and I'm so proud to be working with you on these things. I really am.
Yes, and your name, when I was like, what humans who are doing political work in the state of Missouri should we engage? Your name was always first.
Well, thank you.
Always first.
Thank you.
Because you're walking the walk, you're talking the talk, you're advocating, you're doing the work.
Yep.
You're in the places.
Yep.
So how can our constituency, the Metro Trans Umbrella
Right.
Group, how can we get involved? How can we support?
Well,
how can we
the
help?
most important thing is to be visible,
Yep.
and a thing like this telethon is so helpful because I just feel energized, and I feel like there are a lot of people that feel like they want to get out there and make a difference. But, just like in other equal rights movements, it's once people got to know somebody that was African American or somebody that was gay, we need to, as long as it's safe, we need to make sure that our trans friends can be public. And I think it's going to help us move forward towards that march to true equality.
Share our stories.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So, well, another thing I want to share.
Yeah,
So I brought my husband, my partner, Tom Wham, with me.
Where is he?
and
Somewhere out
yeah,
there.
he's out there.
All
Hello,
right.
honey. When we saw, I was getting ready this morning and saw that you hit your goal. I want to make sure we really blow the goal out of the water and then some. So between now and when the telethon ends, we will match every gift up to $500. So
What? Hold
yep,
up,
so-
y'all hear? Where's the air horn thing? Right. A matching gift. Where is Leon in her loud mouth? Come on now, Miss Leon, where you at? Come on over.
Well, I just feel like I've been watching this telethon for almost 24 hours. Did sleep a little bit, unlike you guys,
No,
but I
right.
really want to make sure there are so many people out there watching this, and I want to really push us strong over the finish line. So we're going to do matching gift up to $500 between now and noon.
Here we go.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
okay, right. It was celebratory, right? Okay, great. I just needed to share that news with you, right?
Yes, okay. $500 between now and noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matching grant.
get to work.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
And so we're going to bring this together because we are honoring the humans that we're very intentional about the people that we wanted to center with interviews, and we wanted to center you in a prime spot because we know that you're doing hard work, and I see your work. And we had these made up, and they're just a gesture to say that we see you working towards our collective liberation. And you talked something that struck me when you were just talking about storytelling, and maybe if this is in your office or in a place, then you can tell stories about transgender humans that you know. Right. And you can change the narrative and change the scope. And we appreciate your work, and we appreciate your allyship and your advocacy.
Of course,
Yep.
I will keep doing this for as
Yes.
long as I can,
Right
and
on.
thank you so much. Sorry, I'm getting misty.
Yes, no, and we will support and let us know what we can do. We work hand in hand with Promo, who gets us, all the information and
Yeah,
how we do it.
Promo and their lobbyist Elizabeth Fuchs is on the ground in Jefferson City all the time, fighting for all of us, not just the L's and the G's, but the B and
All
the
of
T
us.
and the
Yes,
Q, all of us.
Yes,
So.
yeah. So we appreciate you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Right on. I need what would that sign? I didn't really read that sign, but what did it say? Okay, thanks. Okay, thank you. Of course. I think we're gonna get to listen to Karis now.